Everybody's getting tested these days. I recently had my patients tested. I'm negative. Hey kids, Adam here. Today's video I'm going to go over what I call the Bass Chordal Slap Thing. Yes, that is a technical term. In my solo song, The Nature of Bass, description is below. I played this cool back and forth bass thing between my two Zon basses, and in the mix breakdown video, I'll put that up here, I said, hey, if anyone wants to learn how I did this cool thing, let me know, and I'll do a video on it. Eric chimed in and said, please shoot the bass technique video. So Eric, here you go. Hopefully the rest of you enjoy this. Let's take a look at the original part as it was played and recorded in the song. Here we go. All right, so we're just going to focus on the first half of that, the Bass Chordal Slap Thing. Seriously, if you guys got a better name for it, leave me a comment, but I think I'm going to go with Bass Chordal Slap Thing, and just, that's going to be what it is. So the first half of that, it is, it goes a little something like this. Now, that may seem crazy and hard and complicated and maybe just a little bit impressive. I think it's really not. It's a combination of some slap, some hammer-ons, and a lot of practice. Before I go into the actual technique, for your normal bass slap, a lot of people have been taught these are the fingers you use for slap. You use your thumb to slap, you use your first finger to pluck. You know, what I want to have you focus on is, and someone taught me this early on when I was learning how to slap, use both of your fingers on your right hand to pluck. First finger is going to be on your D string. I won't show you, but second finger there is going to be on the G string. So if you're going back and forth, that way, when you want to do something cool, like a little triplet thing, or for Iron Maiden fans, this reminds me of an Iron Maiden song from years ago. You can do all sorts of cool things like that if you're using both fingers in your right hand for plucking. If you're only using one, you can't do anything like that, and you can't play this bass chordal slap thing. So let's start with the first half. This is going to be a slap, two hammer-ons, a slap, and a pop. So very, very, very slowly, and I'll talk it through. So it's slap, hammer-on the octave, slap, pop. Now I'm exaggerating it. I don't want you to go crazy and pop here. I'll tell you why in a second. But if you go from slow, you can eventually speed it up and work on it and get it to really, really flow. All right, so the second part is very, very similar to the first. You're just adding in another note and another pluck. So it's slap, hammer on this chord thing, another slap, pop on the D, pop on the G. Now the chord thing, you don't really have to get that really strong. Once you get this going fast, it's almost more like a ghost note than anything. So if you really are having problems with it, aim more for this top note, but you want to have both of these down so you can pluck on the string. It's almost like setting it up for the pluck more than anything. So I'll do it again. And this is the kind of thing you can sit, when I learned how to slap and I learned how to do crazy stuff like this, I just sat in front of the TV, no amp, no nothing, and just, it'll take a while to get used to it. You got to get your fingers there before you're hitting the notes. The hammer-ons need to be strong. Everything needs to be even. That's the most important thing, is when you're doing the slap and the pops, to make everything even with the hammer on. And what I mentioned before, I don't want you to really pluck these really too hard, because once you get going and once you get going faster, it's almost like you're just kind of moving over the strings. You can really tell up high. And the motion is like a rocking of your wrist. You're kind of moving your wrist back and forth, and the slap sets up the pop, sets up the slap, sets up the pop, kind of back and forth. So now the chords. It's your standard power chord. You know, if you're a guitarist, this is, you know, my expertise in guitar is I know all the power chords. So it's simple. It's the A power chord, the E power chord, the G power chord, and the D power chord. And putting it all together, the right hand stays in the exact same spots for the whole thing. You are not moving your right hand around. You are doing the same pattern on the same strings. It's the left hand that does all the movement. When you are practicing this in front of your TV and you are in one position, don't look at your hands. Especially don't look at your right hand. If you're focusing on your right hand, then you have to move your left hand around, you're stuck. So I almost recommend just focusing in on the TV, or if you don't want to have the TV on, just stare at the ceiling or close your eyes or look out the window, or, you know, watch your pet run around and chase its tail, something like that, so that you can do, and then go back without looking at either hand. Now you'll see me look down because I'm jumping around chords here, but the important thing is just you have to have this be second nature muscle memory for your right hand specifically. So if we slow this down quite a bit, I'll do just the octave part first. And then I'll do the chordal part next. Now you'll notice I'm using my third finger up here on the power chord, but I'm using my fourth down here. It's just a strength thing. I don't have as much of a stretch down here as some people do. So I learned early on to use my fourth finger, but as the frets get closer together, I can slide up and use my third finger up here. It's all a matter of what your personal preference, your personal playing style, and your strength is. Some upright players actually use their third and fourth finger as an anchor point together. I never learned upright bass. I came from cello to bass. It was, so that wasn't a thing that I grew up in. Whatever works for you works fine. I've even seen some people use third and a fourth finger on separate strings like this. I prefer to bar them, but really whatever works for you. And again, you'll notice that last time I played it, I wasn't emphasizing the plucks at all. It was a real smooth kind of motion going over the whole thing. So we'll do it one more time. And that's really it. That is the Bass Chordal Slap Thing. Should I trademark that? Bass Chordal Slap Thing. Ding. Probably not. It's probably not something I should do. If you'd like this kind of video, you'd like me to go over more little bass technique things, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you want to hear. What kind of things you want to hear. Do you want to hear slap? Do you want to hear finger style? Do you want to hear, I don't do much tapping, I used to, but I can bring up parts and things that I play and go over parts that I've written. If you like this video, please comment, subscribe, hit the little bell thingy for the notifications, share it to your friends. And if you want to help me a little bit further, click the link down below to buy me a Coke, and I'll have a Coke on you. Until next time, have a great day. This is one of those riffs that is really, really hard to play slow, just because of the mechanics and the nature of movement. It's almost like a rhythm that you get going with your hand there. Let me try Nice. There's a big section there. I have no idea what just happened. Because all the interruptions and things. Let me try this a little bit slower. And of course, if it doesn't work out, you won't see it in the video anyway.